This is Kathy at your service. How may I help you?
Hi, can I have room 1111, please?
Certainly, my pleasure, sir. Have a good evening.
Hey.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, that's better.
All right, cool. Wow, the woman who picked up sounded like a retarded Puerto Rican.
Yeah, it's a crazy fuck. I'm in Florida, South Florida.
Boca Raton, huh?
Yeah.
What do you have, a nice private gig down there?
Well, yeah, it's actually a Narcotics Anonymous convention.
Really?
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's fucking great. And
yeah.
And what are you just talking about? What are you, like a motivational speaker down there?
No, I do comedy, just stand-up. It's like, it's a convention filled with, like, probably 2,000 crackheads and drug addicts, and they have a whole weekend of events and stuff, and my thing is I do a stand-up show, you know.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, this is, can we put that on a podcast? That's fine, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Whatever I say, you know, the only thing I was worried about was just bad-mouthing other comics too much, you know?
Yeah.
Because that becomes, people will look down on me. They won't, you know,
oh, yeah,
it never works out that way. Huh?
I completely understand. I don't want to, you know, cause any trouble over my stupid website and that shit.
Yeah.
So, this is Patrick from Cringe Humor with the great Mike DeStefano, who performed at our, August 16th show and fucking destroyed. He's, 2006 has been a great year for you. You got past at the Cellar, you got past at, the Laugh Factory, right?
Yeah.
And, you have, you know, agents and managers barking up your tree trying to get you on board.
Yeah.
So, you know, what is your goal in this weird comedy world? I mean, what do you want to do next?
I just want to make more people come see me, you know, like just, or keep seeing me. I don't know, man. I don't have, a lot of people ask that, you know, what's your goal? And, it's like, I'm already there, you know?
Right.
I feel like I'm just doing what I'm doing. You know, I mean, I want bigger things to happen as far as, like, my career. I'd like to get on HBO, you know, someday.
That definitely seems attainable.
Yeah, that's all I really care for right now.
And just read your message about, you know, what you think is fucked up with society and all that.
Uh-huh.
I mean, how would you describe, for someone who hasn't heard your act, what it's all about?
My act? Well, let's see.
I'm sorry for hammering you with these boring-ass general comedy.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, that's usually the shit people want to know, but, you know, it's so hard to put that stuff into words, you know?
Right.
Excuse me. Yeah, usually I just tell people, come fucking see me, and you'll figure out what it means to you.
That's perfect.
But I will try to explain some of the things, because one of the things that is important to me is to make comedy out of shit that's not funny already. Like, shit that's not funny already. That's one thing that pisses me off about comedy. And comedy fans, they're out there laughing at, like, fart jokes.
Right.
See, farts are already funny. You could just sit home and fart and laugh by yourself. You don't need a professional stand-up comic to do that.
Right.
You know, so I talk about, so my jokes include racism, religion, you know, and, you know, big vaginas, stuff like that.
Right. Now, you're one of the few comedians out there who's at a level where you're at a higher level. I mean, you're past at the big clubs, you're getting, you know, TV time now, and agents and stuff like that, where you're not afraid to say what's on your mind. You don't care who you piss off and who you offend. Is it hard to keep that integrity in order to become more mainstream and more accepted?
Yeah, that's a good question. That was the first good question you had, you little prick.
I know, I'm fucking terrible at this shit.
No, it's cool. Yeah, you know, what happens is you go up on stage, and when you don't say what you want to say, you feel bad.
Right.
You walk away feeling like, shit, man, I didn't do it. I didn't say the things I wanted to say. Even if I kill, and I don't kill with good shit, like, it bothered me for a long time. And then I just started going up and taking that risk and saying the shit I want to say, and it would get a lot of laughs, but a lot of oohs and ahs and boos, and that's tough, you know, but yeah, you gotta just keep fucking going. And it's the quality of the laugh that I'm looking for, not the amount of laughs. It's a certain quality laughter that I look for, and it's a laugh that's riddled with shame. The people are ashamed that they're laughing.
That's the exact definition of cringe humor, and
yeah,
I'm glad, to have you out there and raising the bar for all this, hokey comedy bullshit and being so honest and raw.
Oh, cool. Thanks, man.
I mean, that means nothing coming from me, but it's refreshing to see out there.
Right. You don't like yourself too much, my friend. You need some help.
I hate it. I mean, I'm so fucking pissed with comedy right now.
Right. How come?
I just, with the shows mainly, everyone bitched to me about, we can't do shows at the Laugh Factory because of Caroline. So now I'm moving to Caroline's and they ignore me. And I'm offering them, 5 to 6 times as much money as other clubs pay for the same 15-minute spot.
Right.
So
you're talking about certain comics?
Yeah. I mean,
well, yeah. You gotta move on. Like sometimes, I think the comedy is in waves, and maybe some of the people that you were used to dealing with last year or the year before, they move on to a different level.
Right.
And it kind of sucks, I hope that, I'm sure every comic hopes that they'll, be loyal to people that help them get to where they are. Because I know that you spend a lot of time promoting comics and helping them, get publicity and, fan base and stuff. And then maybe when they move on, they just act like they don't give a fuck anymore. Part of it is they just don't give a fuck anymore, but the other part is that, they're doing bigger things. And then our agents and shit, you might call someone's agent and they'll be like, no, he won't do it. But they never ask us if we want to do it.
Right.
They just decide that we don't feel like doing it. But my manager is instructed to fucking say yes to everything unless it's, and if it's a problem, you call me. And we'll see. Because I make decisions to do stand-up not based on the money all the time.
Right.
Most of the time it's, do I want to go to that place and be in that kind of environment?
Yeah, I mean, but it's not a stretch getting guys who live in New Jersey and New York to come into fucking Times Square and do 15 minutes for $250. I don't think.
Right. Well, yeah, I hear you, man.
Yeah, so, I mean...
Pain in the ass.
What would you say on your end is the worst part of being a stand-up comedian?
Well, the only bad part of stand-up has nothing to do with the hour you're on stage. That's the fucking beauty. The writing is beautiful, and the thinking up new stuff. It's all beautiful. The part of it that sucks is the business of it. Like there's a lot of clubs I don't play, and I don't want to start saying which clubs because I'm at a level now where fucking I want to just say what's on my mind like all the time, but just sometimes it's not prudent, and then you become a fucking trouble. And if you have self-esteem and turn around and say, hey, I don't like playing these certain clubs because they treat comics like shit,
right.
Then all of a sudden the whole fucking industry thinks you're a prick, And that's what I hate about it, is that the gatekeepers of our art form are all pussies. They're all fucking pussies with no talent, and a lot of them are failed comedians. Like, there's a few people that own clubs in New York and all over the country that failed at stand-up. They failed at it. They were a fucking complete miserable failure. So they opened up a club, and then they piss on the art form that rejected them.
Really? I mean,
yeah.
Have you thought, I have several names that pop into my head, but for business reasons, I'm not going to...
Yeah, because, that's a good policy, is not to mention it. See, because then they kind of win when you do that, because... they figure out a way to make you look like a scumbag because you don't spend a lot of time manipulating life. I don't spend a lot of time figuring out all the angles. I just live my fucking life. These motherfuckers spend their days and nights figuring out the angles so they can sell 2 more drinks. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't do that, so they're much better at it than I am. They're better at fucking people in the ass than I am, actually. See, I'll look you in the eye and crack you right in your fucking mouth. These pieces of shit, they'll go out of their way behind your back to get you.
So they're sneaky little pricks, pretty much.
Yeah, there's plenty of them around. And, now I just smile at them and shit, and I play the game, because I play in places or work with comics or work with agents that I can't fucking stomach. And now I just, like, smile at them and just keep thinking about the day where I can just fucking piss on their fucking grave, you know?
Right. That's exactly how it should be played. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, you've had, I'm sure you've dealt with it, comedians stealing your material. How do you deal with something like that?
Well, you know, there's been a few times. I can't say it's happened a lot to me because a lot of my material, I don't know that it's like the stuff that I write that's stealable, I throw in the garbage.
Right.
And I have had people do lines that I've used, or even a word. Sometimes a lot of people just take a really funny word that you do a lot. Like I have this one joke where I talk about these little white douchebags that want to act like angry black dudes. Everyone talks about that, every comic, but my take on it is that they're raging against the cul-de-sac.
Right.
Right, like that's just a little line I came up with.
Yeah.
And then, you know, that word is not overly used, cul-de-sac. You know, it's like it's a rarer word than, you know, neighborhood or, you know, suburbs.
Right.
So there'll be times where I'll see certain comics in a very crafty way throw that word into the act, describing the same kids, and they do it very sneakily. Do you understand what I mean?
Right.
Like, and what I do is, each time is different. Sometimes I'll literally just drop the joke from my act, and people think that's weird, but it isn't. It's confronting a thief. They'll never say, "Oh, you're right, Mike, I'll stop doing that." You know, no one's ever done that in the history of comedy. So I just say to myself, well, gee, that joke, if he can do the same joke, then I need to write a better joke, because that piece of shit is able to deliver it just like I am. And that means the joke is fallible.
Right.
You understand?
I hear you, yeah.
That's just my take on it. I know some people confront people, but I really don't. I mean, I don't get into that whole thing. But I don't have it happen an awful lot. I don't know if it's because I'm a hack or people just realize intuitively that I will try to kill them if they ever make money off of the things I came up with.
Now, not to go too far into your past, but I read articles where you were like a gangster and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever had like that rage, during your stand-up comedy days?
Oh, yeah, dude. I fucking snap. Like, I hate that word gangster, because I have relatives and family, and I grew up with gangsters, with real, authentic, wise guys.
Right.
And so that, I guess people like to, like, put that on you, sort of, because they know or whatever, like, you're a gangster. But so I don't consider myself a tough guy, but I'm a tough guy in this fucking retarded comedy scene. In that comedy scene, I'm one of the few guys. There's some of us, but I'm among the hot upper percentage that will, put a tire iron over your fucking head. Now, I don't walk around, acting that way. People that know me know that I'm a sweet person, and I really am.
Right.
But I also have a background of violence too. So, sometimes I get crazy. Yeah, I've had 5 to 10. I probably had about 7 altercations over the years in clubs where it got physical. And, it's not me, just if someone heckles me, I start swinging at them. It really goes way deeper than that,
Right.
Like, you have to fuck with me like 20 times before I'll actually say, so, but yeah.
What's, like, the most fucked up thing you've seen while on stage or at a show?
The most fucked up thing I've seen?
Yeah. Have you had people throwing bottles at you and all that shit?
Oh, no, I've never... That's something interesting about me. A few years ago, I would say that 3 years ago, between 3 and 4 years ago, was my worst year where, like, I was just rageful. And I was out doing my act, and I would just, if people were, like, disrespecting the show, which, heckling, like, I would just attack, like, verbally. Like, not even trying to be funny. I would just say, like, I'll crack your fucking head with this mic stand, like, just something sick. And then the guy would get up and, like start approaching the stage, and I, at this club called Hall one time, a guy like charged the stage, and I just kicked him in the face.
Right.
And what happened was, like, I got out of there and shit. The cops actually came. It was really sick. But I was fucking wrong. Like, I pushed the guy. Like, I just kept calling him shit. And, I guess, and I learned from that. And I was like, that's not comedy, That's like the streets, And so that's not something I'm interested in. But I've had people come to me after my set and say shit, and I would hit them and things like that. This one guy just put his hand in my face as he was leaving, like one of those "you suck," but he put his hand like right in my face.
Jesus Christ. And
I just fucking lost it,
You do realize that you're like a hero to every man's man for, to see stories alone.
Oh yeah, I'm so on the fence with all this stuff, because I'm really am a good guy. Like I like to be sweet. I don't want to be mean and like, it's not really what I want to be like. It's just that I'm good at it,
Right.
I'm good at it when, like, I grew up with that.
So if you want to go positive, out of all the comedians that you work with in New York City, who do you like and who do you think is going to go far?
Well, I think, that question is like, I don't think the two of those things go together. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm going to say this, and, like, to me, Colin Quinn is just amazing, like, and I'm a comic, and so as a comic sitting and watching him, it's mind-boggling how good he is. But he just can't connect somehow. Something with American fucking audiences can't connect with him, and I've been analyzing that shit just because I want to know why does that happen. And part of it is he talks too fucking fast, which he already knows, but also his stuff is intelligent and it requires that you pay attention. So I realize people have no fucking attention span, and you got to hit them over the head. So that's what I mean. Like Colin Quinn's like definitely in my top 5 comics in the world, in the country, as far as talent and fucking art and writing. But yet at the same time, that whole success thing, that whole fucking mainstream success thing, is elusive to him to some degree. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely understand.
Yeah,
he's
so
like
that's
a misunderstood genius.
Yeah, there's something that's not translating and getting across. But you know what? It seemed like to be like that for all the great ones. You know what I mean? This scene now is more of a marketing scene.
I mean, guys like Dane Cook and like the
well, I see him on the site a lot as somebody that people really like, and as a I don't consider him a comic, unfortunately. Like, I almost don't, he's not a stand-up in the way I see stand-up, And I don't hate the kid. A lot of people hate him, like, fuck him, and that's just jealousy,
Right.
They're jealous because he pulled off something. There's a ton of good qualities that he has and reasons why he is where he is. But unfortunately, they're not because of art. They have to do with other aspects of the show business. You know what I mean?
Right. He knows how to sell himself and not.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I don't hate the guy at all. It's just like a lot of comics hate him and stuff. I just write better jokes and say, you know what? If I end up like Colin Quinn, I'll be a happy motherfucker. And that sounds crazy because he struggles with all kinds of shit in this business, but he's just, to me, I respect and honor him like a ton. And like, I love Norton, of course, and I'm trying to think of anybody that you don't even know of that's like up and coming. A few of them don't live in New York, but there's this guy Jerry Rocha, who's my favorite comic in the world. He's he's a young guy, but he just says the most outrageous, beautiful shit. I love him, but he's not around. I'm going to try to get him to move back to New York.
Definitely.
Well, who do you like? Like, what do you mean, in New York?
Yeah. I mean, like, from like up and comers, like Jason Good, I think is.
Yeah, love Jason. Jason Good is is very funny and has a ton of potential, and he gets so fucking mad when he doesn't do well. I love it. No, that's a sign of hope.
Yeah.
For him. Like, I watch him, like, really, if he has a bad set. Like, last week, I saw him, and he didn't do that well. I'm saying he didn't do that well based on the audience reaction, but to me, he did fucking phenomenal. And he was leaving, and we're pretty tight, me and him. Like, we don't hang out together outside of comedy, but we always see one another. We hang out, we talk, we call each other. And I was like, hey, what's up, Jason? I know he got off stage. I go, hey, good job, bro. And he just fucking, like, looked at me like he wanted to kill me, like as if I was fucking with him. And all of that inadequacy and self-hatred is why he's going to be successful, in my opinion.
Right.
That's the shit that drives you.
I mean, it's great to see that. I mean, he's not passed at the big clubs yet, but it's great to see someone as funny as he is, and yourself included. Just to have that passion to keep driving on.
Yeah, definitely.
And like you said, we'll carry them on bigger. And who else are you friends with in this comedy world, like in the New York City scene?
Well, my friends are, I love Joey Gay. I don't know if you ever seen Joey Gay.
Well, obviously we've seen him through Last Comic Standing.
Yeah. That show that doesn't do him justice. I really enjoy the guy, but he's just a sweetheart of a guy, and he's a good comic. And how about Angelo Lozado? You ever heard of him?
I've heard of him. I've yet to catch his act, though.
Yeah, Angelo I think he's one of the guys I like. There's a ton of guys in the city that have the potential, but I'm not wooed by many. I'll be honest.
Right.
I wish I could say more and not sound like such a douchebag, but...
No, that's the great honesty about you.
Yeah.
Wow, if I blow any more smoke up your ass, no, I'm just...
No, that's cool, bro.
No, it's great. I mean, just seeing you open, I wrote on the site how you opened for Bobby Kelly.
Yeah, I remember that.
Years ago, and just to see how great you progressed over the years. I'm not saying you're funnier now, but just you're finally getting recognized and appreciated.
Yeah.
And you made a retard like me come around.
Well, that's good. But when I passed at the Cellar, that was like such a big deal to me,
Right.
And because I always wanted to be there, and because of the guys that started there and built their careers there, and I waited until I knew that I was gonna blow the fucking booker away before I asked for an audition.
Right. You got all your shit together, and you got to.
A lot of guys want to rush this thing. You got to take it slow,
How does that whole process go about? You just, you contact them and then they give you like a showcase?
At the Cellar?
Yeah.
No, the Cellar, you have to have somebody in there recommend you. And I think based on who it is that recommends you is how fast you get an audition or whatever. I'm not really sure 100%, but I know that, somebody has to go to Esty and tell her to look at you or ask her to give you an audition. And for me, it was Modi.
Right.
At the end of the day, it was a guy I never knew. Like, I've been buddies and friendly with Norton and Colin Quinn for a while, and a lot of people. But you know what? I never asked them to do it. I've had a few of them, like the big guys at the Cellar, ask Esty, and it just never worked out. Like maybe 2-3 years ago, Geraldo actually, gave her a tape of mine. And that him giving her a tape is great. Like Greg Giraldo giving Esty your tape to see you is and I thought, all right, this is it. I'm going to get an audition, but it just never happened. I never heard from her. I called, and she said, I haven't looked at the tape yet. When I do, I'll call you. And that, a year went by, and I just dropped it. And then a few months back, maybe 6 months ago, I was playing at the Laugh Factory, and this guy Modi comes up to me, and he's like, dude, you're great. I said, where? Cool. And, he said, my name is Modi. I said, oh, you play at the Cellar a lot. Cool. And I said, can you recommend me down there to get an audition? And he said, yeah. And inside I'm going, yeah, here's another fucking guy that's not going to do it. And that Friday, she calls me and says, come in tonight for an audition. I was like, motherfucker.
That's awesome.
I show up, bro. It was, I'll never forget, it was March 5th. Cinco de Mayo that weekend.
Right.
And she says to me, she's Israeli, so she says, Michael, I want you to have an audition, but I don't think it is fair for you to audition tonight. I said, how come? And she said, it's very rowdy crowd and a lot of drinking, it's Cinco de Mayo. And I looked there and I said, Esty, if I can't kill tonight, I don't belong here.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then she goes, oh, she smiled and said, okay. And I said, but if I bomb, it's because of the fucking audience. And she dug me, a little bit. She put me up, and Colin Quince told me before, don't be upset if she doesn't watch you, if she leaves the room. Modi told me the same thing. Like that's how she is. Don't get all worried about how she acts. Because she'll do that. Apparently, she'll watch a little bit and then leave and make her decision. But halfway through my set, she's fucking still there, clapping and laughing. And when I was done, she came up to me and just gave me a lot of love. And it was nice. It was a beautiful moment. A lot of comics will say, oh, big fucking deal, but that's because they can't get in.
That's envy. That's definitely envy.
Yeah.
So now, you did a TV taping for White Boys in the Hood that's going to be on Showtime.
Yeah.
Now, the only negative thing, it's not negative, but a lot of people consider your act like you're playing to a black crowd. How do you defend that statement? Like, your act is like wiggerish.
Yeah, that's really, people think that?
Yeah, that's what I've heard from a few people.
Yeah, again, well, I don't even, what do you call it? That's like ridiculous. I don't even see, and I'm not a person that is defensive. I'm not even being defensive. I just don't, the reason why black crowds like me is because I tell them that, I know they were held down by the white devil, but I wasn't there. I was on heroin, so it wasn't me. Like, how is that wiggerish? That's more just me being a white dude that's being honest with black people.
Right.
I happen to love black people in the crowd, and I think that if anything, people might say that I almost, and I don't do this anymore because you grow and learn. But I used to be more like I would just say, white people, I hate you, and why can't you be more like black people? Like, in essence, that's what I was saying. But I never, ever change my accent or tone or use any kind of, black words of any kind. So, that's I think that's an unfair characterization of me, that I'm wiggerish. But, even if I was, I don't really give a fuck. Black people come to see me. I don't go to them. I don't do urban shows.
Right.
I don't do them. I did 2 of them in my whole career, and the last time I did it was 8 months ago, and I said, I'm never doing this again. Because I love black people in the audience, but not when there's all black people.
Right.
I don't like doing all anything shows. I like when there's a mixed crowd. But black people love me because they know that I'm authentic and I'm not a fucking phony. And they hate white comics that are phonies. And they hate black comics that are phonies. Well, no, they don't. They eat that shit up, too. But, no, I got some strong, racial shit that totally a lot of these other guys would get beat up for. But I deliver it because there's a truth behind it. Like I said, I wish I was black. And if there's a reincarnation, I hope I'm born black. And then I pause and say, not next life, but the one right after that. And that's like saying, yeah, I love black people, but I'm not ready to be one yet.
Right.
It's still good to be white.
That's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
honesty.
It's just honest and fun, and at the end of the day, it's about laughter. I'm not a philosopher, even though I have a lot of deep thoughts about shit that I want to express in my comedy. I'm not here to philosophize. I really am here for laughs.
And that's the simplest science, and that's what makes it great.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like how I wrap that up with my awful improv skills?
You're the best, Patrick. Stop hating yourself. You need to go to a 12-step program.
A nice psychiatrist, you think?
Something, yeah. You need some kind of fucking help.
That's good, though. At least, I try to entertain the masses, and
yeah.
I'm glad to have you on board, sir.
Hey, my pleasure, man. I love it.
Is there anything you'd like to plug? Anything to promote, or?
No, just what's the date for the show? October
18th.
Yeah, October 18th. I'm gonna be headlining the Cringe Humor show, right?
Yes, sir. We're gonna.
Like, how long will I be on? Like a half hour?
At least. I'm gonna
All right.
tell management not to red light you. You can, even
Yeah.
if they do, just fucking keep on plugging.
Yeah, because I get rolling, and just come out if we're gonna have a good time. I promise. I got some new shit to talk about. I can't wait.
Excellent. Hopefully we'll have a fucking crowd.
Yeah, we'll get a crowd. I'm gonna promote it myself because of the amount of time I'm gonna be able to perform. Yeah, after a while you get tired of inviting people to shows when you're only doing 15 minutes. It's kind of like pain in the balls, and then they got to sit through 10 horrible fucking comics,
Yeah. All right, cool. I appreciate it, Mike. Thank you for your time. I hope you have fun at the benefit tonight.
Thanks, buddy.
And what's your website for those listening to the stupid podcast?
It's www.puppiesandheroin.com.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And you're on MySpace too. Is it myspace.com/Mike DeStefano?
I don't even know, bro. You got to go on my website to figure that out.
What do you think of the whole MySpace revolution, real quick?
The MySpace it's cool. It's just another a way for American human beings to communicate without having to actually look each other in the eye.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
All right, man. Excellent. Thank you for your time, and we hope to work with you more down the road.
All right, brother. You got it.
Take care, Mike.
Thanks, man.
Bye-bye.